Who in the hell would interrupt this?
Survivor Barry Ryte interrupting Eric Bischoff. Well, you gotta give him this. He's got stones for coming out.
My goodness. Barry Ryte interrupts Eric Xavier and Eric Bischoff. This is called career suicide, folks.
Eric Xavier and Eric Bischoff in the same ring with Barry Ryte.
You and your man bun sucks.
Oh, the man bun has been called to the carpet.
You know what? Who said that? I agree with you. Who the hell? How much did they pay you to do that shit? That's horrible.
Shots fired.
You don't have that. I'm new here, right? I don't know the lay of the land. My girlfriend over here's got it down. She wants to see you face Deron Banks.
What? Deron Banks? Deron Banks is back? Barry Ryte is about to be foreclosed. The bank is shut down. Deron Banks back in the crash zone. The man is back.
That's in tremendous shape, Steve. That's the last time we saw it. He's quick.
The reunited of money, power, and respect.
We haven't seen Deron Banks in almost 2 years, Steve.
2 years ago, Deron Banks got fired. Now he is back, and he is bigger than ever. And Barry Ryte is about to be killed.
And right away, Deron Banks goes right after Barry Ryte, leveling into the corner with a clothesline and then double knees.
We haven't seen Mr. Banks in quite some time, and he is buff, and he is bigger than ever before. That recent time off from Crash Tested Wrestling has done him well. He's got himself an amazing physical condition and is ready for his return tonight to Chicagoland and the Midwest.
Mr. Banks in great shape and is kicking the tar out of Barry Ryte right now.
Banks was at one time was part of the MPR here in Crash Tested Wrestling, along with Aaron
Grabbed him right by the man bun.
Former tag team champion in CTW, Deron Banks is back.
He never lost that tag team championship in any sort of legitimate form. He had it stripped from him and was fired from the company by Windy City AC. Hey, think about that. We never really did find out who the attacker was for AC, did we? Watch out!
High flying maneuver, Deron Banks, and now the crash zone is exploding.
Deron Banks on fire right now.
It's been darn near almost a year and a half since we've seen Mr. Banks last in a Crash Tested Wrestling ring.
When was the last time you saw somebody chucked back into a ring by a man bun? You don't see that every day.
No, you do not. And Barry Ryte is not the type of guy that's going to be held down.
Barry Ryte through clothing.
Oh, right to the eyes. Barry Ryte with a poke to the eyes after the distraction.
With this being the biggest event of the year for Crash Tested Wrestling, we saw on the video wall at Crash Givings that Mr. Banks, Deron Banks, was going to make his return here at some point, and what a surprise that he does it right here at the very beginning of Crash Tested Wrestling here tonight.
Yeah, Barry Ryte undefeated in Survivor challenges, but this is maybe his toughest test to date. I mean, this is a opponent he was not prepared for.
This is a new, improved Deron Banks. He is bigger, he is much faster, and he flew higher. How is that even possible?
Yeah, but high risk leads to potentially high reward or big time damage to himself. And now the Survivor is taking control, and he's got a loud mouth, but he has been untouchable in the ring, especially over the course of the previous Survivor challenges that have existed over the past calendar year.
Well, I got news for you, Steve Kenton. Survivor's about to get touched.
Well, you can see at this point, the Survivor is now the bully. He is the aggressor, and Mr. Banks, Deron Banks, does not have an answer at this point.
Arm ringer sends his arm right into the canvas, rolls him over, hooks the leg, 2 and
Think about the life experience that Barry Ryte has had in terms of surviving from cancer, having the televised experience of being seen on nationwide TV, internationally, against big-time, top televised stars, and now he's in the ring, and he is showcased as part of Crash Tested Wrestling here tonight.
Man bun and all, talking to you. What did he say to you?
I couldn't hear him. Figure 4 head scissor applied right now.
He wants us to be nicer to him. I think that's impossible.
No, John, it's about Barry Ryte being the franchise of the company, of Crash Tested Wrestling. He's tired of being held down. He's tired of being ignored. This man should be a main eventer in Crash Tested Wrestling. And he's going to prove himself match after match in this ring.
Let me ask you this. What's the best way to get title shots? Is it to interrupt the general manager and a living legend?
You'll get noticed very quickly,
And
Mr.
you'll get
Ahrendt.
fired just as quickly.
That is also a potential possibility.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen anyone successfully execute the drop down before.
That drop down was impressive, and look at the way that Barry Ryte has used his ring awareness
And
to try to
notice he
maintain
used
control.
the ropes for leverage on that pin.
He might have used the ropes just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Once again, this mask is brought to you by Kenton Vision. See everything differently in Kenton Vision.
Well, we already saw the general manager for the night. The guest general manager, Eric Bischoff, is calling some of the shots here tonight. And this already is a surprise.
He's asking the fans. The fans wanted to see Deron Banks.
Bischoff is a man of the people, and the people have spoken.
Well, get used to it, because he's a new advisor to the LRP Network as well.
Huge German suplex just sends him halfway across the ring. What strength by Deron Banks.
Almost broke Barry Ryte in half.
Big changes are going to happen in Crash Tested Wrestling, and it's partially due to Eric Bischoff, but it's also because of our top-notch talent
Look
and
at that
superstars in this
strength.
ring.
Had him up, but oh, right to the eye by Barry.
You never know, gentlemen. By the end of this night, Eric Bischoff might appoint me as the new general manager.
Oh my God.
I hope not.
I hope that never happens. Bite your tongue. We saw what happened the last time you almost destroyed the company.
Into the buckle. Barry Ryte reverses, gets the knees up. DDT off the ropes. That could be it. Barry Ryte hooks the leg. 1, 2, and
Deron Banks kicks out at 2.
A huge amount of impact on that fall. Both men hit the mat very hard, but I think Deron Banks is realizing that maybe answering the Survivor Challenge was not the smartest thing for him to do in his return to Crash Tested Wrestling here tonight.
Barry Ryte rolls Banks out onto the ring floor.
Now he's asking referee 2 Count Lou to start the count.
Can Lou count to 10? Do we know this?
We're
You
about to
can-
find out.
You can add extra body mass. You can have extra experiences on the East Coast and Florida and all things in between. But just because you are back in Crash Tested Wrestling does not mean that you can just manhandle people and
Wait a
win
minute.
whenever the heck you
Close to
feel
the
like.
count out here.
Banks
Deron
is back in the ring.
just barely
He
getting back
milked
in the ring.
that count by the official, Lou Tafano, as long as he possibly could, because he knew that he couldn't handle Barry Ryte in the ring, individually one-on-one, and he needed time to
Barry
recover.
Ryte calling for the end, looking for the rite of passage.
Right on a count.
Counter by
Couldn't
Banks.
get out, couldn't spin him around, dump him on his head that way.
European uppercut rocked him. Sends him for the ride. Another European uppercut.
That's a new trick in the bag.
Off the ropes again. Make it 3. And Barry Ryte hung out to dry.
He is in a
Don't
bad,
fall,
bad
you're
way
gonna break
right
your
now.
head and your man bun in 1,000 different pieces and strands. You don't want to do
I don't know
that.
what he just said, but it was funny.
Nobody messes with the Survivor Barry Ryte's man bun. Come on, it's like a handle of some sort. Look at this, look at the power.
Look at that strength.
Dominator connects. That could be it.
Good night, Irene.
1, 2, 3.
Deron Banks returns and is successful in his
Wrestling
debut.
fans, here is your winner, Deron Banks.
Deron Banks back in a big way, and you have to put him in title conversations, Big Swing.
Huge victory
Maria,